What's up, everyone? Welcome to this day in Philly Sports History for July 9th, 2023. I'm your host, Jim Montgomery. We got a big show today, so let's get right into it. First, I wanted to go back to something I meant to cover yesterday, but we just didn't have the time for it. And that was Richard Sherman's quote about Devontae Smith that that game in 2001, the regular season game against Tampa Bay, is what guarding Devontae is what made him realize it was time to retire. And I've always liked Sherman. He played the game the right way, but it was just funny to hear the quote that he was all for it, and then all of a sudden he's like, nope, can't hang with these young guys. So it's kind of funny. Phillies, unfortunately, the streak is over. It was a heck of a run, though. 5-3, and to be honest, that game yesterday could have been so much worse. So the fact that they were able to keep it close and be in it really to the end, I think is a good thing. But hey, I mean, they won 12 straight, so it's okay. Let's go out today, win this one, head into the All-Star break looking good. Andrew Painter update, it's still just the soreness. They don't think he's going to need surgery yet. But again, as I said yesterday, and this is purely speculation, basing this on nothing, wouldn't be surprised if we see him get that surgery. He's young enough. That would be the time, unless they're seeing a window where they can compete. But I don't know if you necessarily want to mortgage his future for the not even guaranteed World Series title. So we'll see. I did see that the reports on the x-rays, I should say, on Bryce's elbow were negative. He took a 90-mile-per-hour fastball right into the elbow. They said most likely it's just him being sore, which is good. So we'll see. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see him play this afternoon, rest, get the extended All-Star break, and go from there. Tough loss for the Union last night, 3-1. But as I mentioned yesterday, it is going to be a tough stretch for them. They're shorthanded. They're traveling across country. They have guys out. Break is coming up for that tournament where they play the Mexican League team. They're in action Wednesday in Nashville. And now it's time for the daily as the Harden turns. So much to get to. And I mean, this is all rumors and speculation, but then I did see that there were talks that the Bulls were talking about Lillard, Harden, Levine, like just all kinds of trade opportunities with them. I also saw today that Lillard has said that he's not opposed to going to a team like the Sixers or the Celtics even. He just wants to win. Obviously, I guess his first choice is Miami. However, he's not opposed. So we'll see. And I mean, does that put Maxey back in play? If Lillard comes, does Harden stay? Just so many questions. And again, I've been saying it for a week now, but it's better than any reality show. Just following the Twitter timeline and seeing the updates and even the comments as they come in. I want to show your support for the Sixers. Go to phillygoat.com. They have a wide selection of Sixers, Phillies, Eagles, Flyers, Union, Philly sports, Philly neighborhoods, just Philly-centric, Philly pride, whatever you can think of, they have. Go to phillygoat.com, use the promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off of your order. Make sure it has the authentic goat on the sleeve. These are perfect shirts to wear down to the beach, lounge around at the pool, just good conversation starters as well. The other day when I was wearing the Mr. Sandman's gym shirt, I started at least two conversations about it randomly, just about where did you get that shirt? Is that the guy from Mike Tyson's Punch-Out? Why does he look that? Those types of conversations. So be sure, go to phillygoat.com, promo code Jim Montgomery for 10% off of your order. All right, today we're going to go back to 1996, and on this day, back in 1996, Major League Baseball had its All-Star game. It was the last time, excuse me, that the game was in Philly. It was the last one at the Vet, the last one at a quote-unquote multi-purpose stadium, last game on true old-school AstroTurf. But it was in Philly. Hall of Famers Mike Schmidt, Richie Ashburn, Jim Bunning, Steve Carlton, Robin Roberts threw out the ceremonial first pitch. As far as the game was concerned, the National League won 6-0. It was the last time they'd win again until 2010. So 1996 was the last time they won until 2010. There was one tie in 2002 that led to the change in the All-Star or the World Series home team thing happening. But local guy Mike Piazza from Norristown was the MVP. He went 2 for 3, 2 RBIs and a run score. Ricky Bo was the Phillies' only representative that year. He pitched one scoreless inning, struck out Pudge Rodriguez. This was Ozzie Smith, and I'm only mentioning this because you can see if you're watching on YouTube over my left shoulder, my autographed Ozzie Smith poster. One of the only non-Philly sports things here in my office. I played shortstop. Always wore number 1 because of Ozzie Smith. This was his 15th and last All-Star game. He got a loud chorus of cheers. And All-Star game or not, you can't take the Philly fan out of Philly. When Joe Carter was announced, he was loudly booed as well. He should have. But Philly has hosted the All-Star game 4 times. 1943, the A's hosted it. 52, 76, and 96. So the Vet did host 2 All-Star games. We will host it again in 2026. It's part of the USA 250th anniversary celebration. So Citizens Bank Park in 3 years will be hosting the All-Star game. So looking forward to that. It's always fun when those types of events come to the city. All right. Time for the Philly Sports Most Lovable Loser Tournament updates. And yesterday we had a pretty evenly matched Sixers matchup. The number 4 seed 81-82 Sixers took on the 5 seed 18-19 Sixers. And we said, according to What If Sports, it was a domination by the 18-19 Sixers. You guys disagreed, and with 67% of the votes, the 4 seed 1981-82 Sixers, that team that made it to the finals and lost to the Lakers, will be moving on, and they will live to fight another day. 67% of the votes. So thank you for voting. Keep them coming. The votes each day are going up. Again, I keep saying this, but I know people are listening. So more people are listening than voting. So make sure somehow, some way, you're getting your votes to me. All right, we are halfway through the first round. And today we go back to the Eagles Regional for another interesting matchup, I think. You got the number 4 seed 1947 Eagles versus the number 5 seed 2002 Eagles. Now, excuse me. The 1947 Eagles, they were the runners-up in the NFL. They went 8-4. They were tied for first place with the Steelers, so they had to have a one-game divisional tiebreaker playoff game, which the Eagles won 21-0. They won the division after finishing second the previous 3 years. This was their first of 3 straight divisions. They would actually go ahead and win back-to-back titles in 1948 and 49. This team was led by Al Wistert as two-way tackle and Steve Van Buren, the running back, who was just coming into his own in the 1947 season. So after they beat the Steelers, the way it was, the two divisional winners played for the championship. Since there was a tie, they had that extra playoff game. So they lost. The Eagles did go on to play the Chicago Cardinals, who had the better record. So they went out to Chicago, to Old Comiskey Park, and the Eagles lost 28-21 on Christmas Day, basically because it was supposed to be the week before, but due to the divisional playoff game, they had to move it up. As I mentioned, they would go on to win the next 2 championships. But the 1947, they came this close, but they were a team on the rise. So because they were in the championship, that's why they got the 4 seed. All right, the 2002 Eagles. They went 12-4. They won their second consecutive NFC East. They were coming off an NFC Championship game loss the previous year to the Rams. They were just not quite ready for primetime yet. 2002, that was the year McNabb broke his leg, threw the 4 touchdowns on the broken leg, and then Coy Detmer and A.J. Philly rallied the team to get that number 1 seed. McNabb came back for the playoffs against Atlanta. 20-6 at the Vet. They won, and still to this day, one of the most brutal hits that I've ever seen was when Dawkins knocked, like, basically, I don't know how he didn't break Michael Vick in half, but Michael Vick was trying to score a touchdown. Dawkins knocked himself out. Like, it was just a very vicious hit. But then the next week they would go and play Tampa Bay in what would be the last game at Veterans Stadium. And probably one of the most devastating losses in Philadelphia sports history ever. And just Joe Jurevicius is still running. I remember walking into the stadium, and you see there was the sign that said they would change what it said. It said, from here you can almost see San Diego. Like, the Eagles were favored in that game. There's no reason why they shouldn't have won. In my opinion, and I know I set up the tournament, but due to the rules of the tournament, because this team did not make it to the Super Bowl, they were ineligible to be one of the top seeds. Hands down, this would have been my number one seed. And I'm not trying to sway votes this way or the other way, but this would have been my number one seed on the lovable loser, disappointed, whatever you want to say. So definitely, as far as I'm concerned, I set the rules up. Yes, I know. But because of the rules, they could not have been the number one seed. 10 Pro Bowlers on that team, 2 first-team All-Pro, B-Dawk and Troy Vincent. Brian Mitchell almost returned that kick. Like, it was just crazy. So they are the 5 seed taking on the 4 seed, 1947 NFL championship runner-ups for the Eagles. From then, I did play this out again on What If Sports, and the 0-2 Eagles won 6-4. Ironically, only one time did the home team win, and that was the 0-2 Eagles. And I say ironically because both of these teams, the 47 Eagles and the 2002 Eagles, were phenomenal at home, each only losing one time. Well, 0-2, I guess, lost 2 if you count the NFC Championship game. But both times, like, it was very run-heavy offenses. Steve Van Buren and Deuce Staley dominated and alternated as players of the game. So I don't know if that was the game plan going in, but the away team won 9 out of 10 of these games that we played, but the 0-2 team came out 60% of the time. Now it's your turn. Who is the most lovable loser in this matchup? You got the 4 seed 1947 Eagles, who would go on to win 2 championships the next 2 years, versus the 2002 Eagles, who the entire Andy Reid era, I would say this was probably the closest and best team he had, and the one team probably that should have won a Super Bowl, but the devastating loss to Tampa in the last game of the Vet. So be sure to vote on any of the social media. Send me a text message, smoke signal, leave a comment on YouTube or wherever you get your podcast, Twitter, at Philly Jimbo, TikTok at Philly Jimbo, Twitter at Jimbo Mont, TikTok at Jimbo Mont, Instagram at Philly Jimbo. We'll get it right here. I couldn't get Jimbo Mont for Jimbo_Mont for Instagram. I tried, but be sure to get those votes to me. Let me know. This could be another one of those doozy ones, but we're halfway through the first round, and we're looking. The winner of this game, by the way, will take on the 1988 Eagles, who pulled off the upset of the 2004 Eagles. So let's go. Get those votes in. Let's go, Phils. Let's end the first half of the season, go into the All-Star break on a positive note. Looks like we're going to get some storms today, so it'll be a good time to catch up on Back to the Future as well, or do some shopping on Philly Goat. But this has been This Day in Philly Sports History. I'm Jim Montgomery. Go enjoy your Sunday, and until next time, I'll see you when I see you.